Here is a quick little addendum to a function that I showed not so long ago in the load and save. If you remember in load and save, we had the ability to load and save everything. I've added something to the save and load now that when you save anything at all, it will not only does it save everything, but it also saves the configuration of the system at the time of saving. So your current sources, defaults, routers, button modes and router types are all saved as well. Now this comes in handy when you're using multiple ATEMs and you need to switch between different ATEMs. Your routing and your setups may be all different. I mean, I have 4 separate ATEM systems, each have their own cases which have got their own different types of routers and multi-views and all sorts of different changes, and the inputs are different for different cameras, and you can, rather than have to stop and have to reset everything depending on what system you're using, you can actually recall and save it. So if I go over to load save, I mean, as before, you can put any name you want in here, but I've actually got files in here that I've called, like for instance down the end here, I have a file called TVS HD. Now I have a TVS HD that I'm using here, and it, for instance, the first 4 inputs on this are HDMI inputs, but I run SDI cameras, so I mainly use inputs 5 to 8. So subsequently all my routing needs to be reassigned to those inputs. So with the TVS HD, for instance, I will have settings that will pertain to that. So whenever you hit save on anything at all, it'll save those values anyhow, regardless whether you use them or not. But where the configurations come in handy is when you go to do a load. If you select load, you'll notice there's a new menu item here, down here, called config. So you can either turn it off. You can either turn it off so that it won't load the configuration when you load the rest of them, or you can turn it on so it will load the configuration. So come out of there. So for instance, if I just want to load the configuration, I'll just turn everything off, go over to load, and you see there's nothing selected, so it won't change any of the camera settings, but it'll then allow me to load the configuration. So if I just hit enter, you'll see it goes load, and then it's done. And then when you go in to have a look at your configuration settings in here, now they'll be all changed to whatever they were saved as. So that's a nice quick way of just saving all your configurations and recalling them using a name that you can associate with. So as I said, if you name things correctly, you'll be able to understand what they are. So TVS HD, I know obviously isn't a camera setting, it's a system setting, a config setting. So that's a nice extra little trick that I've added for you.